Hey guys, Wyatt Claypool here, and I have two stories for you today that I think perfectly demonstrate why you can never give the woke left an inch. They're inherently authoritarian and their ideas are supremacist. Any institutions they can get their hands on, they will dominate 100%, and their ideas must be reflected in every single thing the institution does. So I'm going to start off with this first story that's actually very reflective of my most popular video ever about the town of Westlock, Alberta, deciding that they're going to go back to neutral crosswalks and neutral flagpoles. Crosswalks are just white line crosswalks, not rainbow crosswalks. And their flagpoles are just going to have, the flag of the town, the province, and the country, and maybe the Union Jack, and that's it. Now there is another town in Alberta that's done the same thing. And the reaction of the woke left is demonstrating that you can never please these people unless you are doing every single thing that they want. Well, see, you're actually now not an ally. You actually must hate gay and trans people. Well, maybe you're actually a bigot. Maybe you're a fascist because you're not letting us dominate your institutions. And I want to tell this story through the perspective of the NDP MLA for Edmonton Highlands Norwood, Janis Irwin, who is an absolute political supremacist. Here's what she said about the town of Barrhead making these neutrality changes to again go back to white line crosswalks and neutral flagpoles. Not we're going to go to Christian flagpoles and have crosses everywhere, and we're going to have Christian crosswalks, just neutrality. That's not good enough for Janice Irwin here. She says, "Damn, my hometown of Barrhead has just passed a so-called neutrality bylaw that will remove the rainbow crosswalk and ban various flags. No, it bans all flags that are not the city's flags on city flagpoles, that aren't the city, province, country, and the Union Jack on city flagpoles, public flagpoles. That's actually neutral." Anyways, but she finishes off this first post in the thread saying, "To Barrhead's 2S LGBTQ plus community and allies, I'm so sorry. Know that you're not alone. You are seen and you are loved." It is her actual position here that you are not seen and loved and tolerated unless there is a pride crosswalk, unless there is a pride flag perpetually flying at City Hall. That's obviously absurd. But the thing is that Janice Irwin is an identity politics supremacist. Her favored identity groups must always be reflected in everything all the time. Maybe Janice Irwin thinks that a white line crosswalk is about white people. I wouldn't put it past her for being that obtuse, but she legitimately sees neutrality and not having basically dominion over little small aspects of society as being anti gay. It's absolutely ridiculous to think this. Plus, this is a small town. You could say, well, it's just a crosswalk. Small towns don't have the budget to be wasting money on nonsense all the time. Small towns need to be paying for the police, water, power. They need to be making sure that public services are provided, that public transportation is there. This is an offense to taxpayers to constantly be spending money on virtue signaling nonsense. And she's about to undermine her case right here because it's not like this is a well-known town who's constantly doing things that are against the gay community or whatever. They used to literally do it. Nothing's changed. They just thought it was kind of getting a bit much. She says in her follow-up post, "The first time I joined my hometown to paint the crosswalk was truly magical. I'm heartbroken for all those who organized and encouraged the community to choose love." How are you heartbroken? They literally did it. See? On the 5th of June, 2022, we see Janice Irwin here painting the crosswalk with pride colors. So obviously the town is not against this stuff. They got tired of it. And then she follows up here and she said, "And when I came back to Barrhead this summer again to paint, the joy and love was incredible. I won't forget." And they're even doing a Pride Progress flag with the Indigenous symbol in it as well. So obviously the town didn't care. And they're like, "Oh, and this person commenting over here, oh, I'm sorry, this is terrible for the community." How is it terrible for the community? It's a neutrality law. They are going to have white line crosswalks. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but you're going to have to walk on a normal crosswalk. Most crosswalks are normal crosswalks. Well, but it shows the community might not care about this community. What? Do we always have to have things, symbolic things around to make sure that you think that everyone around you is not going to start like jump up and start like beating on you? If you think that, you're probably in the wrong town. And really, you're not in the wrong town. You're wrong for the town if you have such low opinions of your neighbors that them not affirming you at all times is considered a form of bigotry. If anything, that makes you a bully. The worst form of a bully, a cry bully. And this is so typical for Janis Warren. Janis Irwin is absolutely drenched in identity politics. So many NDP politicians, both provincially in Alberta, like Janis Irwin, as well as federally are, and I'll also include the federal Liberals, they care more about who did the thing, what they are, than whether or not what they did was actually bad. So the town has not done anything bad. They have not made an offense against anyone, but they have failed to provide Janis Irwin's favorite community with something which is like oppression, even though other people didn't get that and they didn't claim oppression either. In the Westlock story, again, like the thing I made my most popular video on, the what I would just call, I guess, the alphabet lobby then showed up with like rainbow lawn signs to like strew them across private lawns who wanted them in the town to protest the fact that they weren't having the crosswalks and flags on public flagpoles anymore. Guys, you realize this is why people don't like your lobbying and your activism, because you're nasty people, because you can't leave it alone and leave people alone. You must always be there, present in people's faces at all times. And this is a tactic, and it's deliberate because they're Marxists and they want to bully people into agreeing with them on other stuff. And this identity thing is what they've been using for so long as an insertion point. Well, if you don't hate me, you'll put up that flag, you'll paint that crosswalk that way. And also, you should probably agree with me on everything else too. Now, let's jump over to another story. This one is somehow even wilder. I might get the town's name wrong here, but they have, if I can find it, I think I have it up here. I know where I get the link. But there's the town of, I believe, I think it's emo. I know it sounds like, emos, the group of people. But there's this town of Emo in Ontario, Northern Ontario, that just decided that they're not going to, do a pride parade this year. They weren't going to do a pride parade in 2024. And so they've now been fined by the Ontario government. Doug Ford's Progressive Conservative Party's government has fined both the town of Emo, Ontario, it's near Thunder Bay, and they personally fined the mayor. That's how crazy this is. Thanks to you to Joe Warmington for like writing this story and covering this. So it says a Northern Ontario mayor who was fined for voting against flying a pride flag at his town hall says he will not be bullied into paying the $5,000 penalty. Nor will Mayor Harold McQuaker be taking LGBTQ training as he has been ordered to by the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario. So this is why we need to dismantle these stupid human rights tribunals, every single province. It's just about nonsensical complaints from activists to bully normal people. And this is used against absolutely everyone. If there was a mayor who was gay saying, we're just not doing the pride parade this year, it costs a lot of money, it's inherently political, obviously it's political, it's about saying that this identity group is super special, that person would probably be referred to the Human Rights Tribunal and get convicted and pay $5,000 and get labeled a bigot, even if they're literally from the community. That's how absurd all this stuff is. These are not only a waste of money, it's basically just government struggle sessions, but in this bureaucratic way that makes it feel professional. It's not. It's a bunch of Marxists with too much power. So he says, and McQuaker insisted he won't cave to demands that he must host a drag time story hour in the local library either. Imagine that. There is forces coming from above that are trying to say that he must host a drag time story hour in a local library. This is the mayor. This isn't like the librarian who technically doesn't have power to decide everything the library does. And so they're refusing a direct order. This is somebody who is the person who's supposed to be giving the orders, who a tribunal saying, no, you must do it to prove your tolerance. So we are literally showing that woke politics, this is what I meant from the start. These are supremacist politics. You must always celebrate all the time and also agree with all the other socialist stuff that the person wants to insert as well into these conversations using their identity as the insertion point, that you must do it all or you will basically be like attacked and trying to be torn down. This is nuts. He's the mayor. This town didn't want the stuff, but because a woke scold can file a complaint, that means that you are now in trouble and you will be railroaded. This is sick. This is really twisted stuff. Never give these people a single inch, and I am happy that that mayor is not, and I'm happy that the town of Barrhead has gotten rid of all the nonsense and just gone back to neutral crosswalks and flagpoles, as well as the town of Westlock went back to neutral flags and crosswalks. Perfect. Good. Guess what? A town is supposed to just function for its taxpayers, not function for specific taxpayers a little bit more than everybody else. And that is what the virtue signaling, that is what the pride parades have become, about proving that some people are a little more special than everybody else. You can have a parade. You got to fund it yourself. It has to stop being a taxpayer involved thing to constantly ballyhoo identity. And this is on everything. I don't want a Christian parade. I don't want a British national history parade. I just want whoever privately can fund a parade can have one. A Canada Day parade's fine with me. Maybe a Christmas parade. Even that, I don't exactly need it. Let's stop with constantly needing certain people's politics raised above everyone else's. And if you don't like it, that's bigotry. Again, Janis Irwin, going back to her thread, she's not saying that, well, they're not putting up bigoted flags. They're putting up Nazi flags in the town. No, it's just the Canadian flag. There's just not a pride flag next to it now. Well, that's pretty big. How is it? How is it bigoted at all? It is literally neutrality. It is pure neutrality. That's what I commented back to her. It is literally a neutrality law, and she puts it in quotes like it's a so-called neutrality law. What is her definition of neutrality if this is not neutral? Again, it's the whole stupid Animal Farm bit about, we're all, we're all equal, but some of us are a little bit more equal than others. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. That was insane stories. I hope that the mayor of Emo, Ontario is able to get through this, because this is an absolute woke struggle session attack, and the only way you lose is by giving in. I think if he fights this in court, he'll probably get his the fines overturned, and if he doesn't, then he should keep fighting it in higher and higher courts. That's nuts. Anyways, if you guys want to support the show, you can always donate to the Give, Send, Go legal fund. I have both in the description below as well as pinned at the top of the comments. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like this video, and, watch out for my next video. I don't even know how to end these videos. I just kind of scuff it at the end every time. I just kind of blurt out a bunch of words, plug a few things, and then eventually I hit the end recording button like I'm about to do. See you guys later.